This was the launch of the Diaspora Outreach Program for the East African Community citizens abroad to connect with the East African Community Secretariat back home.
It's important that we strengthen this. Every longest journey begins with a single step. And this is the step we are starting of formally engaging diaspora. And this is not something we take for granted. This is something we want to report in the next Council of Ministers and to the summit. Our ordinary summit comes on the 30th of November, that we have started formal engagement with diaspora.
The community, comprised of 7 partner states, is estimated to be receiving an annual total amount of $15 billion sent back home by the East Africans in the United States alone, according to the World Bank figures. Ambassador Riek Riek, who is the Director General for International Law and Treaty in the South Sudan Embassy, had this to say.
So we want to copy some of these things. We also want to encourage them to have remittances that will also bring them return that they can rely on. Because I know I've lived here for 32 years in the United States, and I worked, my wife worked, but we haven't saved anything. It's not an easy endeavor. So, but if we can provide that in South Sudan, that they can work and also invest in their own country. Because
we, as East African people, compared to West African, they are ahead of us because they are working together. We need to make this platform as a way forward to change our life.
Over 500,000 people from the East African region are estimated to be hosted in the United States, as estimated by the World Bank. This includes a largest number of South Sudanese that are expected to remit back home for national development.
I see people sitting under the tree, drinking tea, playing cards, and then somebody, for example, in my country, somebody from Uganda would be pumping the gas. Now, why are you sitting there asking me to send you money when you can actually work and pump that gas?
I don't want to spend my retirement money sending money back home. So my motivation here to make connections, try to invest back home.
That's some of the areas now where South Sudan's name is growing even heavier, where now education is also going to come in, right? So the things that they're focused on, I would say, back home is the areas of sports and education together to really uplift the people and to uplift the community.
Living in North America or in, I don't know Europe, but in North America here, you will see somebody look dressed good. You will see his house look good, but we are living in very stressful life.
This meeting, held in Dallas, Texas, USA, marked the beginning of the mobilization exercise embarked by the Secretary General of the East African Community, Dr. Peter Mathuki, to urge the East Africans in the diaspora to invest back into the region. This engagement is expected to result into development of the diaspora policy to facilitate the East Africans willing to invest back home. James Arusi, SSBC.